In today's video, I'm going to show you step by step how to prepare, assemble, fill, and decorate a two-tier cake in a very simple and straightforward way, without complications. We're going to prepare together the syrup, the two filling creams, the cream for decoration, and I'll show you how to correctly assemble a two-tier cake so it's firm, tall, and very well structured. I'll also teach you a very easy way to decorate it, without the need for special tools or complicated techniques. It's ideal even if you're just starting out in baking. If you've always thought that making a two-tier cake is difficult, stay with me because here we're going to do it step by step in a clear and practical way to achieve a beautiful, elegant, and delicious cake. Day 1. We're going to start with the preparation of the syrup and the cream. First, in a saucepan, I add 250 g of sugar, which is equivalent to 1 cup, and place it over medium heat so it melts little by little, without stirring at the beginning, letting the heat do its job. While the sugar is melting, in another saucepan I add 1 liter of room temperature vegetable whipping cream, about 4 cups, and place it over the heat until it just reaches the boiling point. As soon as it starts to boil, I remove it from the heat. Separately, in a bowl, I add 1 kilogram of dark chocolate, about 2.2 pounds. In this case I'm using compound chocolate, and I add a bit of sugar, between 2 and 3 tablespoons, depending on taste. Now I pour the entire liter of very hot cream over the chocolate and let it rest for a few seconds without touching it, so the chocolate melts completely from the heat. We go back to the saucepan with the sugar, and when I see that it's already melted and starting to take on a light brown color, I gently stir it with a spatula and very carefully add 2 cups of water. Next, I add half a teaspoon of vanilla extract and let it boil until the caramel dissolves completely and the syrup is well combined. I return to the bowl with the chocolate and cream, and once everything is well melted, I stir very well until all the chocolate is fully incorporated. I cover the cream with plastic wrap directly touching the surface and leave it at room temperature, outside the refrigerator. This is what I prepare on the first day. I leave the syrup ready for the cakes and the chocolate ganache for the next day. Here I also show you the cake layers, which I have prepared 1 day in advance. You can find the recipe on my channel, where I have several tutorials very well explained step by step, both with a stand mixer and with a hand mixer. I cut the cakes using a special cake leveler. I use a thickness of about 2 to 2.5 centimeters, which is approximately 3/4 to 1 inch. For each cake I need 4 layers, and once they're cut, I set them aside for now. Next, in the bowl of the mixer, I add 600 milliliters of very cold whipping cream, which is about 2.5 cups, and beat it for approximately 1 minute to 1.5 minutes. Meanwhile, in another container, I mix 150 g of cream cheese, Philadelphia style, about 5.3 ounces, with 150 milliliters of sweetened condensed milk, about 2/3 cup, until I get a smooth mixture. When the cream has soft peaks, I add this cream cheese and condensed milk mixture and beat for another half minute, just enough to combine. Finally, I add finely crushed Oreo cookies with the filling included. Here I have 2 packs of Oreos. I mix for just a few seconds, only until everything is incorporated. I turn off the mixer and the Oreo cream is ready. I set the Oreo cream aside and move on to preparing the second cream. For this, I'm going to use the chocolate ganache that we prepared the day before. I beat it a little with a hand mixer to give it some texture. Then I gradually add 250 g of very softened butter, at pomade consistency, which is about 9 ounces or 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons. I add it in chunks, beating after each addition, until I get a delicious chocolate cream with a texture that's not too firm, perfect for filling my cakes. Now I have everything ready for assembly. I have the cake rings prepared with their acetate sheets or transparent plastic, because my cakes are going to rise a bit higher than the sides of the rings and I need to give them more height. I also have the cake layers, the Oreo cream, the caramel flavored syrup, and the chocolate ganache ready. I place the first cake layer into each mold, add plenty of syrup, and then add a layer of chocolate ganache, about 3 tablespoons per layer. I place another cake layer, add syrup, and now add a layer of Oreo cream. Again, I place another cake layer, add syrup and chocolate ganache, and repeat once more with cake layer, syrup, and Oreo cream. To finish, I cover with the last cake layer, flipping it upside down so the bottom part ends up on top. This helps the cake stay nice and straight. This is how my cakes turn out, super tall. The molds have a height of 10 centimeters, which is about 4 inches, and they still rise about 5 centimeters more, around 2 inches, so each cake will be approximately 15 centimeters tall, about 6 inches. These 2 cakes can be left in the refrigerator for a minimum of 4 hours. Ideally, they should rest overnight, but 4 hours is enough. Finally, I add a bit more syrup on top, cover everything with plastic wrap, and place them in the refrigerator to rest. And here we continue with the recipe. Now I'm going to prepare the cream I'll use to coat these 2 cakes. In this case, I use 750 g of very soft butter, which is about 1.65 pounds or 3/1/3 cups. Notice how my finger sinks into it. This is very important in order to cream it properly. If the place where you're working is cold, I recommend softening the butter in the microwave in short bursts of a few seconds until it's very soft. I don't recommend working with cold butter because it's impossible to achieve the texture I'm about to show you. I beat the butter for 8 to 10 minutes until it doubles in volume, becomes lighter in color, and looks shiny and creamy. The texture tells you when it's ready. I use butter with 82% fat content and no added salt. Now I add vanilla extract. I set the mixer to low or medium-low speed and start adding the condensed milk in a thin stream. I use 750 g of condensed milk, which is about 1.65 pounds or roughly 2/1/3 cups. Once all the condensed milk is added, I beat for another half minute and it's ready. I scrape down the bowl with a spatula, and look at the texture we've achieved. It's an incredible cream. You can find this cream on my channel with several tutorials where I prepare it using both a hand mixer and a stand mixer, even with a timer so you can see the exact times I use. If you need to beat it for 15 minutes, do it without any problem. This cream doesn't curdle. You can add colorings, toppings, darker or lighter shades, whatever you like, because it's a very stable cream. Now I'm going to coat each cake with the first layer of cream. Here I show you the bases I'm going to use. The large, thick base is very important and must be firm. I've already made a hole in the center, just like on the base of the top tier. This is my way of working. There are other methods, but I'm showing you mine. I place the cake and first run a knife around the edge between the cream and the plastic to make sure nothing breaks when unmolding. I flip it over and unmold the cake onto the thick base. This is the large cake, 25 centimeters in diameter, which is about 10 inches. Look how beautiful it is, with all the layers even. Now I'm going to apply the first layer of cream, the crumb coat. This layer is very important because the cake has chocolate and Oreo layers, and we need to cover it well so that when we apply the second layer of cream, nothing shows through and the dark colors don't bleed, giving us a perfect finish. I fill in all the gaps and smooth it as well as possible. When it's nicely covered, I place it in the refrigerator. I do exactly the same with the second cake and leave them in the refrigerator for a minimum of 30 minutes so the cream sets well. This way, we can calmly apply the second layer, which will be thicker and will fully cover and coat the cakes. After chilling, I cover each cake with the thicker layer of cream, smooth it very well, and return both cakes to the refrigerator while I prepare the decoration. To do this, I place some cream into 3 bowls and color it in 2 shades of blue, 1 lighter blue and 1 darker blue, using gel food coloring. I show you how I do it. Once both cakes are well chilled, I assemble the 2 tiers. I insert the central dowel and mark the diameter of the top cake to know where to place the supports. In my case, I use 6 plastic dowels plus the central wooden dowel, which I really like to use because this way I'm completely sure the cake won't move either during assembly or transport. This step is very important for good cake structure, especially along with a thick, sturdy base. Now I add a very thin line of blue tinted cream to cover any gap that might remain between the two cakes. And look at how easy this way of decorating a cake is. It's going to look beautiful. I decorate it using just 3 tones, with the help of a silicone spatula, without complications. And that's it for today's recipe. If you enjoyed this tutorial and found it useful, I invite you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and to share this video with anyone you think it might help. My goal is for you to learn pastry step by step in a clear and accessible way, without the need to invest in expensive courses. If you have any questions or want to share your experience, leave me a comment telling me which fillings you use for your cakes. I'd love to read you. Once I finish both tiers and the top part, I return the cake to the refrigerator so it can chill a bit more. The butter needs to be very cold in order to continue with the final part of the decoration, which will be the gold details. I apply some gold accents that give it a spectacular finish. I use gold powder mixed with a little vodka. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here. Thanks as well to all the channel members for their constant support, and I'll see you very soon in the next video.